Hello. How you doing today? The homie Gilbert Burns came through. Gilbert's been one of my most important coaches, been a good friend. He's a great fighter, great friend, okay father and husband. And okay father, okay husband. He said if he ever have another child in his family, he's going to name it after me. We were talking about this yesterday with his wife. If ever they have another child, they're going to name it, instead of Derek Moneyberg, it's going to be Derek Money Burns. So I'm excited I'm hopeful of your wife's fertility, and I hope you have many more children, and name all of them, son or daughter, Derek Money Burns, son or daughter. Mikey Musumeci. Mikey has been here a couple times. Mikey's an amazing grappler, one of the best pound for pound. I mean, maybe he is the best pound for pound grappler in the world. It really is quite brilliant in innovations and identifying opportunities in grappling, and particularly in breaking knees and ankles. So I'm not sure if anybody in the world is any better than Mikey is at breaking knees and ankles. So if you don't do your homework, I just want you to think about that. We talked about a lot of success things. We were training. What time we stopped training yesterday?
3:30.
No, 3:30. It was like 4:30, 5 a.m.
You're getting food at like 4 in the morning.
It was late.
Yeah, we got.
Is that breakfast then? If we're eating at that time,
No,
it counts as breakfast or dinner. Still,
it's not the next day until I wake up. So it's still the first day until I go to sleep. It's not like midnight means it's the next day. It's like when I go to sleep, that means it's the next day when I wake up.
so it doesn't identify it as the next day until you wake up.
No, everybody knows that. That's how the world keeps time. Has Derek gone to sleep yet? Oh, then it's not tomorrow. Gotta wait till I go to sleep. When I wake up at noon, that's when the day starts. Mark says, "Hey Derek, when you were 19, getting started with your real estate business, what were some of the investor networks that you began with? Meetups, conferences, etc., at the local level. Thank you for the calls and incredible guests you invite on the calls." Mark's training some jiu-jitsu. He's been over here training with me and comes to Beatdown Boot Camp. And maybe you come over here and get your knee broken by Mikey sometime, Mark. It'd be a fun experience for you, a memorable experience.
I don't injure people in training.
And he's very careful, except with me. I think he's very nice to the other people. He had my arm twisted up in such a peculiar way yesterday. And it was 2:30, he choking the hell out of me.
He's always guilt tripping me.
2:30 in the morning, he's 17 years
I'm
younger.
a safe training partner.
He said, I'm a business guy in my 40s. This guy's like a multi-time world champion. What do you win worlds, 5 times? Five times? Yeah. Well, 5-time world champion, one of the best grapplers that ever lived. And he's beating up business guys at 2:30 in the morning. So I want you to know that about it. That's the type of guy Mikey is. He's so dedicated to his craft, he's choking me at 2:30 in the morning on a weekday. Perfectly sober, not even perfectly sober. Picking on business guys. He beat up all the little guys. He beat up everybody else. He come here to try to bully me for a while.
I'm not being bullied.
Mark, I found it miserable to go talk to local little investor groups or meetups. Is mostly a bunch of weenies that, they all want somebody who's doing better than them, and they haven't done much yet. And I just find it miserable to try to do that type of thing. So I would encourage you more so that, find somebody who's already done what you want to do and make yourself useful to that person. Like anything that resembles or something like a networking event or sounds like that or looks like that. Anytime I've gone to such a thing, I've been like, what the, I'm out of there quick. It's mostly a bunch of very, low level individuals that they haven't done much. They're probably not going to do much, and they're showing up in hopes to find a savior that's going to do everything for them, that they can, pretend that they're a business partner to that person, but they're not actually going to do much of anything. So I like to find somebody who's already successful. And I did that in business, and I do that in grappling, and I got to find somebody who's already successful, who's already done the things at an equal or higher level that I want to do it, and I got to find out, how do I make myself useful to that person? If I got to let them twist my arm or choke me at 2:30 in the morning, because that's the type of guy they are, then then I have to accept that. Or, if they're a kinder training partner like, Gilbert.
Oh, he's kind? Both of them are just bullying me when we train. Getting ground and pounded from him, body triangle squeezed.
How many reps did you say we got to do tonight with him protecting the body triangle?
At least 20.
At least 20 reps, okay.
There's nothing more painful than Derek locking a body triangle on you from the back. You can't breathe.
Does that mean he's got to do like 20 escapes? Like 20 successful escapes?
20 successful escapes.
Okay, 20 successful escapes. So I look forward to that. For the people that understand what we're saying, that's quite
Show.
a Stay tuned. Stay tuned to Instagram. See more about that. Mark, I want to find people that are already doing better than me. They're already more successful. And I got to find a different way to make myself useful to them, okay? So probably I can't contribute at a high level to the area. I'm not going to be able to do much to help Mikey's jiu-jitsu career, except to be his, uke and get, picked on a little bit. Maybe I can point out something to him about jiu-jitsu, but it's going to be inconsequential versus his knowledge in that area. Same for Gilbert. If there's something I can point out that's useful at some point, but it's going to be inconsequential versus his knowledge in that area. But there's other things that I'm good at that I can help them with and other people with. So you're going to have to rely on your other strengths and make sure that you can contribute either whatever that other person's goals might be. If you can help other people accomplish their goals, they're happy to help you too. So I've always thought about it that way. And even as a 19-year-old, it's like I wanted to find guys that were doing better than me and say, hey, what do you need help with? What could I do for you? That I can ask you a question once in a while, or understand what's observe what's going on here, ask you a question once in a while. And I found it useful to find guys that are 10, 20 years older than me. They're already doing a lot better than I was in business, and it clears up a lot of problems when you have people that are more experienced. It gives you a clear. This is what the word sensei, my understanding is like the person who shows you the way, the person that shows you the path. So if you're applying that in here is like you need somebody who already did the thing, and they show you, hey, don't you go over there, you get eaten by a lion. You go over here, there's a poison fruit or some shit. You just stay here. Just stay on the path. Yeah. Don't get eaten by the lion. Don't eat the poison fruit. Just keep going here. And maybe it's not clear to you. Maybe the fruit looks really good, but now you got a good mentor, a good coach. Now you don't have to eat the poison. You don't get eaten by the scary animal. You stay on the path and accomplish your goals. So, what did you guys think when you in areas that when you weren't as good as you wanted to be, but maybe you don't have a lot to offer as a young man? How did you find good mentors or people to help you?
Exactly like you said, I try to get the best coach possible over there. Who's the best guy. I remember always I grew up in Rio. That's kind of like New York, because Rio is a state in the city. I didn't grow up in the city of Rio, but that's super famous. That's why a lot of the training until 2007 was in Rio. Rio has the best jiu-jitsu in Brazil until 2007. But after 2007, everybody made a transition to start doing MMA in Rio. So everybody in Rio was just doing MMA. So the best place in jiu-jitsu moved to São Paulo. Mm. So I had to go to São Paulo if I still want to pursue and become a jiu-jitsu. So I just made the transition, and then I remember I had to drop out of college. I didn't make a lot of money back then, but I just had a couple of sponsors that was taking care of me, so I had to let all that go and go to São Paulo to chase a better coach, a better team, guys that would do the same thing that I want. And then it cost me, it didn't cost me financially, but then when I got there, I didn't have those sponsors that was paying the thing. Mm-hmm. So then I had to start working, doing security. But these coaches there, he was able to get me to the next level. Not just because he's a better coach than the other coach. The other coach was great too, but the other coach was also a lawyer, also a lot of things. And the coach in São Paulo was pure jiu-jitsu, and he want to make it world champions. And then it was 5 other guys that want to become world champions. You're just training all day, so I had to pay the price. I was looking for the best coach, not in the area, but in the freaking whole Brazil, in the whole country. Who's the best coach right there? It is what it is. I gotta go there, So I think you gotta chase who gonna bring you as far you wanna go. I think if you just.
I'm gonna ask Mikey the same question in a second, but something that stands out to me is that there'll be some numbnuts on here. There'd be like, you're willing to move from
100%.
You're gonna move across the country because that's where the best things are happening.
Yeah.
Okay, you don't have. What do you think your net worth was at that time? How much savings did you have when you made that move?
It was negative. And remember the place that I told you that I used to live? Cachoeira. Yeah.
Yeah, the Cachoeira is like a place where you keep a prisoner or like a hostage, someone who's been kidnapped.
Yeah.
So you had negative net worth. You have no money. You have no job to wait when you get there. You just know that's where the best training is going to happen. So we got to get from here to there.
Yeah, and even when we got there, still got to get a deal with the coach. We say, hey, I want to train. I have no money. What do you want me to do? What can I do to keep training? And the deal was easy. I just got to help with clean up. So for me, it was nothing.
How many guys in Brazil are going to the best gym saying something like this, though?
A couple guys.
Not many?
Not many. But when I see a lot of successful guys, and I ask, and I had that conversation with Diego Lopes, who's one of the guys that are upcoming, very hot in the UFC. He did the same thing. He moved out of Manaus. That is a very good jiu-jitsu, but was not the best at that time. It was a good foundation. Then he moved to São Paulo. And then when he got to São Paulo, he was more broke. Things was getting worse. Not a lot of opportunities. And they offered him, hey, we need a guy to teach in Mexico. He said, I'm going. I don't care how much. If he's going to pay a little bit, I'm going. So he went to Mexico. And then he made his career over there. So he was willing to do whatever it takes.
He was from Brazil?
From Brazil.
I didn't know that.
From Manaus.
So, some guy on here is like, he lives wherever he lives. And then he's going to be like, I don't want to have to move to the big city where all the money is. I don't want, the rents are higher there. Everything's more expensive there. Yeah, because that's where all the money is.
Yes.
We were just talking about New York hotel prices. Like this week of the year, Christmas week, is $3,000-$4,000 to have a nice hotel room in New York. A lot of hotels are sold out. So in January, you can go there stay in the same room for $500 instead of $3,000, $4,000.
It's crazy.
But the demand is there because that's where things are happening. A lot of things are happening there. So if you want to be in an economy where nothing is happening, all right, you can save 20% on your food, you can save 50% on your rent, but there's nothing else happening in the economy. You got to be in the place where the action is. You got to be in the place where things are happening. When you were a young man, you've been training since you were
4 years
born.
old.
Yeah, 4 years old, he started training.
Yeah.
So when you were 4 years old looking for your mentor, what did you do?
Yeah, so as an American, there was no one winning black belt worlds in the U.S. at this time, right? So I started when I was 4 years old. So I was training jiu-jitsu in Florida, and then Professor Gilbert, he gave me my black belt, was in Florida, and he was training MMA, but he's the only person around me that achieved what my dream was to achieve, being a black belt world champion. There's so many black belts in jiu-jitsu, but this 0.0001% of people actually won black belt worlds in jiu-jitsu, So already when I was 13, 14, I was messaging him every day, can I have a private lesson? Can I have a private lesson in his MMA training, And I didn't do anything besides train at this time. I was in school. I didn't talk to kids or anything. I just had the goal of being a world champion in jiu-jitsu. Mm-hmm. So my parents, that was all I spent on. I didn't spend it on toys, anything like that kids would spend it on. I just wanted to learn from him. And at that age, Gilbert would finish training MMA, which he was doing crazy trainings and practice. I used to watch him. And then he would put on a gi, and help me learn. And I was barely a blue belt then, But at that age, I already recognized that for me to achieve the thing that 0.001% people have, I need somebody that has done that, and could guide me on that path,
It's not 0.001. That means 1 in 10,000.
Oh, way less.
No, but I want to make that point. It's not that you're being too humble. It's 0.000000001. It's not 0.0. It's not the top 1%.
No.
It's not 0.001.
Such a small
It's
number.
0.000000000000001.
And everyone around us, they think, oh, they're a black belt, they're good. But no. This is a whole different tier of black belt that have won black belt worlds, So at such a young age, like 13 years old, getting mentorship from Dorino, that really shaped my career, because then every year he was guiding me. Oh, I want you to visit and train with these people. I want you to do this. I want you to do that, So I had always this voice in my head of somebody that achieved what my dream is to achieve at such a young age, which is priceless,
And be on the other side, like me being a mentor for Mike. Whenever I remember it was a Facebook time and this guy was messaging me on Facebook, hey, please can I have a private
Like
lesson?
every day I was messaging.
And I was just thinking, man, I gotta do all this training. Yeah, I gotta fix it. I gotta see a time. I said, yeah, let's see. And then the next day, hey, can I have? And he was asking so much that that I felt like, okay, I gotta do
You
something.
either got to
for
meet
this
the
kid.
guy or block him.
Yeah, pretty
gotta
much.
Make a decision.
I gotta do something. But
I kept
then,
messaging him like every day.
But then when we trained, he had so many questions. And it was very smart questions that make me look at him different. I said, okay, this kid he's special. He wants to train. And then I finished my sparring or whatever was the training. Again, I trained with him.
I remember how dead you were. You could barely talk when you finished your training.
And then we did that a couple of times. And then next week he was, hey, when can we train again? And then I said, this day. And then we train. Hey, when I have more questions. Then he kept saying that, but that was forever. It wasn't like, oh, after 3 months he stopped. He was like for years like that.
Yeah.
And then, like you as a coach, seeing a guy that was so hungry to learn, it's easier for you, right? You say, yeah, let's come. I was giving him a lot of attention. And ended up being, we're talking when he was 14, he's 28 today. So, and then I was guiding him until today. Like for me, it's easy to help Mike because he was so dedicated, was very easy for me to show him the way, to spend time and like give him directions just because I could see how dedicated he was. So it's easy to a professor, to a mentor, to a coach when the guy is super dedicated. Or you guys think if I just finish training and come Mike 20 minutes late and be like, think you can train today? For sure, no, I don't want to train, but if he was super dedicated, he was there before my session was done. It was so much that I had to do something.
And then we fast forward to me winning brown belt worlds and him giving me my black belt on the podium, So it's such a crazy time, but it was just having the right mentorship and people in your life telling you the right things. It's like priceless. And instead of doing what's easier and just, oh, this person's a black belt, they're good training. Have they done what you want to do in your life? That's the question you have to ask yourself. And if they haven't, then how are you going to do something and learn from them if they haven't done it themselves?
Something I related to, you said a minute ago, you said when you were a young guy in school that you're like, I didn't really talk to the other kids.
Yeah.
I just wanted to be world champion. And I really, I'm saying this like that much as a joke, but like 90% true is like, I didn't give a shit about talking to the other kids in school either. I needed to be rich. I needed to make 10 million. At that time, I'm thinking about $10 million, which I did a lot better, thankfully, than that. But that time I'm thinking about, I got to go find some millions of dollars. I can't get 10 million before I get 1 million. I need 1 million, then I need 2, and then I need 5, and then I need 10, and we'll see what happens. So the joke part is like, I don't have time to talk to these poor kids. Because as if teenage boys are wealthy or something, But I was poor too at the time. But I really thought that at the time. So I don't have time to talk to these broke kids. I don't care if I pay attention to whatever the cool or trendy thing is. I knew this by the time I was a child. If I did what all the other kids thought was cool or trendy, then you're going to have the same results like them. My whole life, I don't give a shit what everybody else was doing. I was thinking, where do I want to go? Who do I need to who do I need help from to be the best person that I could be? Who do I need to make myself useful to contribute to their life in some way, so they're happy to share some of their time, some of their wisdom. And a very important thing that they both said, if you find a good coach, a good mentor, when somebody asks me a question and then they don't do the thing, and they show up later and they ask you the same question, say, hey, and then, I've had clients like this that I've gotten rid of because there's one guy, he come to my live events all the time, and that's great. I like that he spends the money, I like that he shows the dedication to come, but there's never progress. He come every 3 months, he come. He asked me the same thing. And I said, well, I've been answering the same shit for a year and a half. Why don't you do the thing? Instead of talking about it, why don't you go and do something? And you never want to go do something. You just, So I think there's two type of people that ask a lot of questions. There's people like that they think asking the question somehow shows that they're dedicated, which it can in some context. But there's the ones that are going to find the information and actually execute. They're going to get the information, retain the information, execute on the information, find a new way to do something, and come back and teach you something new. And then there's the type of people that they're just talking but no action. And if you're talking but not doing, your results are going to be shit. And you're not going to have the best people in the world invested in your success. You have to be somebody who's asking the question, doing the thing, coming back and asking for the revision. Okay, I think this. Is there a better way? What am I missing? What else could I do? How could I do it better? So you have to be like that. But without the behavior, there's no outcome. So talking doesn't get you paid. Talking doesn't get you a world championship. Without engaging in the behavior consistently, there's not going to be any muscles. There's not going to be any money. There's not going to be any black belt. You're just saying words and everybody knows you're full of shit.
You watch this video all the way through, and that tells me you're dedicated to learning more and earning far above average outcomes in your life. Congratulations for that. But now it's time to take action. If you could have earned those results by yourself, you would have done it already. My head coach has opened up a few spots on his high-demand calendar for an in-person, one-on-one strategy session to help you. On this call, we'll give you the pragmatic advice that you can implement tonight to get laser-focused on the right metrics and leave mediocrity far behind in your past. Click that link right now in the description below and apply for your call immediately. Do it now.